Good evening, this is Papa at Myshire Farm, and we're doing our question and answer tonight on a lockdown. While we're waiting on people to come, I'd like to thank everybody for everything. We've got another cage to give away tonight, and we'll be doing the same thing with the names and all that good stuff. So, looking forward to giving another cage away. Thank you to
Winola Ranch.
Winola Ranch. We did make some progress this week last week I guess, on our water reuse circulating thing. We got the gutter on, so it's we just had a little rain this afternoon for a change. Got to go out in the rain and see the gutters draining into our 5,000 gallon water storage. That's kind of fun. And the big pit didn't fill up with water. That was kind of fun. And we're just, now all we need to do is get some electric to everything, and we will be going round and round in circles from the holding tower to the gutters to the holding tank to the recirculation tanks, through the gravel that helps filter it as well, and back into the holding tank. So it's a really big show out there, that's for sure. Started working on cages this week, and just got going and got summons to my other daughter's house. She's having some major water problems with her new home. Outstanding. So, if we have any questions or we want to get started.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of comments so far, which is great, and we are keeping track of all that. If you have questions concerning the lockdown or even possibly the incubator, feel free to ask those now, and we will get to those questions. But everyone that has commented so far, which looks like 25 people, welcome.
Welcome. Good. All right, do we want to just start talking about a lockdown?
I think we should just start talking about lockdown.
All
So
right.
far we've got 30 people, but so far Michigan is the only one that's mentioned where they're from, but that's kind of cool.
All right.
Zimbabwe texted me today and said that they would be on.
Cool.
So,
You know, I did get a chance to look at the video, and it does kind of have a slow start, and then I'm showing you just an empty cage. I hope those of you that watched it kind of caught on to, or an empty box I should say, caught on to what I was trying to say. Basically I was trying to say that in reverse. It all goes in, it all comes out, clean it. We've been using it now for a month and a half, maybe closer to 2 months now, and it really performing well, staying really nice and clean with all those individual trays underneath each one of the lockdown boxes. I can maybe exactly go get one of those boxes and a thing, and if you guys want to take a look at that at some point, we can move. We're in the new quail barn, and we can go into the hatchery and look at that again if you want to. Yeah, it's good. He's bringing out a thing and a thing. So as we discussed on nice and warm on the video, we made these little cages. I don't know what you want to call them, holders, egg holders.
well, why don't you tell them why you made them so high? Because in the first the first lockdown you did, they were
A little shorter.
yeah,
Well, they jump out.
they do.
They jump out. This is about 6 inches, and there still may be a Olympic type jumper there that might get over, but as a rule that we have very few with the 6 inches. So this is made out of PVC plastic. I bought it at Home Depot. You can buy it in a 4x8 sheet. It comes white, and so you don't have to paint it or anything, but it doesn't rot away or anything like that. You glue it with PVC glue. You can shoot staples in it as well. And then we reinforced it with these little rods here. and we use a quarter by quarter on our lockdown, whereas our brooders and such, we have half by half. So, and then we have these little poop trays that go underneath each one of these. Dangles underneath there like that. And that has been a real savior in terms of having to clean out the lockdown itself. A little lip here so you can grab onto that to pull it out. It's been really very functional and staying nice and clean.
I'm gonna interrupt you for a minute. It was on the tripod, but then I had to move it so you guys could see it. Sorry. One person asked for you to talk just a little bit louder.
Okay.
All right, so we've got, dear Lord, Michigan, California, Indiana, Atlanta, South Florida, Louisiana, Houston, Texas, New Hampshire, Arkansas, Indiana, Nebraska, Missouri, Texas, Florida.
Now, as you all may know, we have sold to all 50 states and 3 of our provinces. We do quite a bit of business in Puerto Rico.
Which Puerto Rico is on here?
Puerto Rico's on there.
Salvador, Santiago.
Was it Guam that we shipped to?
We have shipped to Guam,
We
yes.
have shipped to Guam. So it was really exciting. We had a heck of a time selling to, what was it, North Dakota or something like that?
Montana.
Maybe it was Montana.
Montana hates me, everyone.
Yeah, Montana is not a big seller for quail, honestly.
If you're in Montana, you might want to do something else, or don't take any of our advice.
Yeah, but we finally did sell to Montana, and that was a really big deal. So thank you everyone for making it a 50-stater, and that's
And more.
and more.
So Walt says, none of the stores around me carry solid PVC. What would you recommend?
Well, what did we use to push?
I don't know if they can hear me.
Hmm?
I don't know if they can hear me.
So the question was, and you want to, if you could comment and see if you can hear Zach when he's reading the questions. I won't repeat them if you can hear them. The question is he can't find this PVC in any of his stores. So the only store that I know that sells it is Home Depot, and 84 Lumber sells it as well, I should say. That's where I used to buy it from. So a good second would be what? I'm trying to think what I made it out of before, but that one was PVC.
Yeah.
What did I use the second time? One we're using now, or one we were using? Was it PVC or was it metal?
It was just wire.
Oh, it was just, yeah, there was no frame. You're absolutely right. And how did that work? It was in a drawer.
Is it me, or did he seem really, really surprised that I was actually correct?
Yeah. So, yeah, I just made a screen one and it didn't have a frame at all. But it's kind of rickety, and that's why I opted to beef it up with this time.
Which is much nicer we hatch out about 200 in each one of these, which you can't see. Wow.
Sorry, yep.
Yeah, we hatch out about 200 in each one of those. And so with this being much more secure, it's much easier to handle, where the other ones kind of flip around a lot because it's a little bit more flimsy. Now, if there's a Home Depot or somewhere like that, they could probably special order it, correct?
Yeah, I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could special order it from a Home Depot or an 84 Lumber. Then if you hadn't caught this trick before, I made this. This is the exact size of our egg tray. So I haven't done it yet, but I want to make an egg tray holder upper so that you can set this over it and then flip it over, take the egg tray out, and da-da, you'll have all 200 eggs in the basket. Couldn't do that if it was just 1/4-inch screen. So that's, yeah.
All right, so Puerto Rico, none of the stores, woot. Nebraska
That was
quails.
Puerto Rico that didn't have the stores.
England. It was not. It was somebody else. England is with us.
England is with us.
Very cool.
Very cool.
All right. I'm having a T-shirt print it out next weekend that says "Quails are the new chicken." Maybe my friends will ask me about my quails so I can sell them some eggs to eat. Does mine say that?
No, yours says quail's the new chicken.
Yeah,
So
look at that.
what? You're stealing our. That's copywritten, dude, man. I mean, you're welcome to it. Knock yourself out. That's a great idea. One of the reasons why we did it in the first place.
Right. Does the bottom basket get hotter setting so close to the heat source?
Good question. It does not. It doesn't appear to. We have 3 sensors now on our lockdown. One at the bottom, one in the middle, one at the top. It doesn't seem to be affected by it. But what I would definitely say about that is this bottom tray here, the poop tray, acts as a heat shield. So if it weren't for that, I would say you'd have a real problem with it getting too hot.
Yeah.
So what this does is deflect that heat.
Well,
around
and
the sides, and then the fans take it around. So
we had that issue in the last lockdown because there is no screen.
but the heater was in the back.
The heater was in the back. Yes.
Yeah, so we did have a hot spot there. My first design was probably the best design in that we had a different heater element and they had a fan that hit it right there. This one didn't seem to like the fan blowing across it. And I hope you guys watched the end of the video where we had to tweak some things to make it right. This is not a science. What I'm trying to do here, this is more of an art form. So I do have to tweak things. I don't do a whole lot of math on these projects.
All right. So Texas is with us. Arizona is with us. Texas, Louisiana. Justin Moneyhoom, it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Somebody said in all caps, louder Papa.
Louder, Papa. Okay,
Yep.
I can be louder, I guess. You can't turn that phone up or something?
No,
Okay.
that won't help. Texas, how old are they when you put them in there, and how old are they when you take them out?
So Zach can answer that, but they've been in the incubator now for 14 or 15.
Yeah, so when you put them into the incubator, it's day 1.
Day 1.
Period. On the 15th day, I put them into lockdown.
And correct me if so, because you guys got to understand, I'm the builder guy, Zach's the operational guy. So, but I like to try to answer the questions, even if I'm wrong. Zach will correct me.
That's right.
So you could have some early hatchers and you can have some late hatchers, and that could be a 2.5 day stretch.
Yeah.
From the first early birds to the last bird. So, but you could get, that's a quail joke, people, that I just made up. And but you can leave them in there up to 2 days, they say. We start feeling sorry for them.
Yeah, we do 24 hours.
Yeah, so we try to get them out there in 24 hours. But the most important thing is don't take them out too soon, and because they're wet, and you want to let them fluff up and dry out. You'll see when they're jumping around and trying to jump over the sides and feeling like they're out of their shell. It takes them a minute to get acclimated to not being in a very small room.
Right. Hello from Tennessee. Please buy microphones. I did. They are on the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've had a busy day. We've been working way too hard.
Well, the microphones that I bought haven't shown up yet.
Yeah, micro homes are on the way. I've been adding for 4 weeks now, so.
Right. Louisiana, welcome. You can use finished hard maple. You can use finished hard maple.
You can use finished hard maple. That'd be a good choice. I mean, they've made incubators and stuff out of wood for hundreds of years, and the design that we have is not really pinching anything, so a little bit of movement wouldn't hurt our design at all. You know, 'cause these kind of slide in there loosely. So, yeah, that would. Hard maple, I'm familiar with it, and it would be hard maple, but be a good choice.
Texas says hello. I'm thinking of using 1/2-inch PVC pipe and fittings.
For your frame, could, sure. You could use your keys here where I've got this aluminum. Probably a very good idea. Probably a very good idea. You have that, you'd have that. If you can find the corners, you know, a corner with a three-way thing here, I'm not sure, but I think they make special things for people trying to build stuff other than plumbing. You might look on Amazon for those. Kind of pricey, but it might be worth it. Good idea.
Do you use fasteners other than the PVC glue?
We did. We used a staple, and then I just put some spackling on that. The other trick that I will tell you is if you lay these all out, see they're all 45. If you lay them out on your table and tape these, so you got them butt together with just the top edge of the 45 facing up, and you tape them. When you use that tape for a hinge, it goes and it perfectly folds together, and you're not struggling. So you flip it over, you glue it, and you just fold it up using that tape as a hinge. And that's called miter folding, and it is a very clever trick for lots of things. Once you get the hang of it, you'll like it.
I hear you both just fine. Zip ties would work.
Zip ties around this guy probably would work fine, sure it would. So we've got a new idea of PVC pipe and zip ties to tie your screen on there. I like it.
My humidity seems hard to control. Can you give me the parameters high and low?
Zach can answer that better. I'm thinking we want 60 in the lockdown, is that right?
For humidity, yes.
60 for the humidity. Zach might, well, it's probably plugged in. If you watch the video, if you have, and if you haven't, we always like you to, because we've monetized it. We have a newer version of our humidity control thing. I don't think we don't have the plugged into the humidity control, do we?
No.
And we're staying right around 60.
We're at like 64, which I want to be 65.
So we're at 64, and it shows you a very simple humidity thing that we did there with a Tupperware. I cut the Tupperware out just a little bit. We've got a float valve in there that maintains the water height, and then a replacement humidifier, what do you call it, filter, I guess, of some kind. And that seems to be doing the trick. And I don't know, they've got those ones that you can buy. I've never bought one, so I don't know what they look like or how they've made theirs, but that is by far the best humidifier that I have made. And in the past, we used the $150
Humidair
thing that actually making it a mist.
Right.
That you have to use
Distilled water.
distilled water in. It kind of, you go through a lot of distilled water, so you're buying, you know, bunches. It's not too expensive, but we're not using distilled water on this one, which is one less trip to make, and it's working great. So you can see that on our video.
South Africa says hello.
South Africa, welcome.
Ugh, I always have trouble reading this word. 3 coats of polyurethane.
Yep.
I think I said it right. 2 days drying in between will make waterproof, making wood moisture proof.
I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm a wood guy from way back when. You know, it's just, I'm more of a steel and plastics guy.
Have you moved the quail into the new barn yet?
We have baby quail in the hatchery, but our incubator's still in the old barn, and I haven't been able to get around to making the new incubator. We'd like to make the new incubator and then rebuild the old incubator, and that has not happened. Right now, our focus is on the water filtration system before it gets too cold, and but we're going to need birds pooping in the gutters to make sure that the water filtration system's working. So we are working on some cages now, so we can get some birds down here, so we can get some poop down here. So, because we have not backfilled anything yet, because we want to make sure that's working before we have to dig it out for some reason. So, but it looks very promising.
I hear the baby quails in the background, so
You
cute.
do. I thought it was raining out.
Yeah. That is all the questions. Oh, can you do a video on make the turner, please?
The egg turner?
Can you do a video on, making a turner?
Yeah, yeah. So the lockdown is basically an incubator that doesn't move. The turner I use, and we are making a video on the new incubator. I've started a new incubator, but we just get reassigned here all the time. Life goes on. But what I use for mine, and I think it's a good idea, is a linear actuator. And you can buy them on Amazon. Most of them are 12 volt. I will say that the ones that I've been using come off of beds that, that go up and down, head goes up, foot goes up. And I repurposed those out of these beds. People were good enough to give me some beds, and I had some things, but they're 110. And I know how to do the 110, and maybe somebody could help me with this. But the ones that I are finding on Amazon that I care to use are 12 volt. So that's kind of thrown me a little bit. And all these is a cylinder that goes up and down. So as I have this thing pivoting, it goes back here and it pushes it up and pulls it back down. Pushes it up and pulls it back down. And I just use a simple timer. I'm not smart enough to use the digital ones, so I use the ones that you pull out the pins on. And we've been doing that for 2 years now. And every 2 hours it goes up, and every 2 hours it comes back down. But we will be doing a video on that. What I've got started on that new incubator looks pretty cool, and but it may be a minute before I get to finish that thing up.
Yeah, the cages are next on our list.
The cages are next.
But we will get to it. I think I missed one. Nope. What do I need to do once the quail hatch so the least amount die?
Well, Zach can answer that. It's hard to resist trying to break that little shell off them that they're dragging around for hours and hours. And I can't resist it, so I do break that off. Zach might be able to resist it, but I can't. So, Zach, you're going to need to field that question. You might wanna get closer to the,
Yeah, we actually did a video concerning this very thing, the top 5 reasons for chick fatality that I would recommend you watching. But really, for the quail in general, Coturnix quail are very easy to raise. The hardest part is the first week. If you can get past the first week, then you're pretty much scot-free for the most part. I mean, you know, things will come up down the road, but the first week is the critical week. So I would recommend watching that. And again, you just want to make sure your temp is good for them. They have sufficient water, they have sufficient food, and things like that. But that video will pretty much answer all those questions for you.
yeah, I've said this before, and Zach doesn't really like me repeating it, but one summer, everything was going great, going great, going great. Winter came, and we started losing quail, baby quail. And we thought, oh my God, you know, diseases fit in, this and that. We were just thinking the worst. Had some experts come out from the NPIP program, and they said, well, your birds are starving to death and they're dehydrated. That's what's killing your birds. When it was warm out, they would go to the water, they would go to their food. When it gets cold out, they won't leave the warm to go get water or food. So I'm just sharing this because it's starting to get cold, and you'll need to get the water and the food closer to their warm on the first few days, because they just won't go away from the heat. So that was, we were very grateful that was our only problem, that was our stupidity, and
There was no disease.
but there was no disease. But we were sure worried that there was the worst. But it was all good, and we've shared it with you now. So
Well, and just keep in mind, especially this time of year, so it's getting very cold and frosty in the morning, very hot during the day. You cannot just take care of your quail once a day during this season for the chicks, and they be okay. So, you know, for example, we come down here in the morning, and then I'm going to uncover them because they were completely covered up with a lot of heat at night. And then I've released that heat because during the day it's going to warm up. So I don't want them to overheat, but that means I have to come back down and covering them up at night. So with chicks at this time of the year, it's a continuous thing, 2-3 times a day.
yeah. So
How many quails do you believe y'all have all together?
how many quail do we have altogether, Zach?
By the end, from 2 weeks to today, we'll have about 3,900.
2 weeks from today, we'll have 3,900 quail. That seems like a lot of quail.
It is a lot of quail.
And, you know, Zach, I've heard Zach say to somebody that we don't have any eggs to sell. And I say, why do you tell people you don't have any eggs? We've sold out of the eggs. That's really the problem. So, yeah, we sell a lot of eggs.
Yeah, I think
we're grateful to you.
I've counted, I count every week, and I think I've told him the past 2 weeks I've called him, and we're averaging close to 1,100 eggs a day.
That are laying and not being sold for something else. So, yeah, we go through 1,100 eggs a day whether we want to or not.
Right.
And that will, and you know, we're in the garage, so this barn's gonna let us do a lot more than that if we can. But again, we don't expect people to do what we're doing. We want to show you what we're doing so that we can have transparency of our quail in our barn and the efficiencies that we are trying to do are to keep our prices down. So, yeah.
What do you do with very late quail hatching? Also, what do you do with chicks with splayed leg?
Well, being born on this wire, on a quarter by quarter, I think helps this
Splayed
blade
leg.
legs things right off the bat. There's, that is a problem that I feel is because they're on a slippery surface and they never can get their legs out underneath them. And if they never can, they never can develop the muscles to hold it there. So this quarter by quarter screen helps them right away not do this the first time they stand up. So Zach will have to take it from there.
Yeah, I also believe that splayed leg is an environment issue, not a hatching or genetics issue. So if you happen to have that, I've seen a lot of people put them in shot glasses where they kind of keep their legs together. We really don't have that issue here.
Very seldom.
Very seldom. And then what do we do with very late quail hatching? We put them in the brooder.
Yeah, again, you just have to be a little more patient with them. You don't want to say, oh, you're late, so you can't dry out. You know, you have to let them dry out.
But again, that's a rare thing here.
The layers.
Yeah. The idea is you really want to be very consistent. The more consistent and structured you are with your process, you're not going to have a lot of sprayed leg or a lot of hatching out at different times and things like that.
Yeah. So that, that could come to, the whole, and Zach will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason quail are early or are late is because of the temperature that they're incubated in. So, because they'll incubate, if your temperature is low, it'll take longer for them to, or they'll be waiting around until the temperature is correct. So if you're opening up your incubator, and opening up your incubator, and opening up your incubator, then all that time that the temperature is not correct doesn't count toward their incubation time. So that might be a reason you're getting, or if you've got a cold spot, or just the spot where you've opened it up gets colder. Those are some reasons why you might have some late hatchers.
Yep, and I would say about 10% if you're ordering shipped eggs from anywhere, I would say 10% of the time, if you have issues, out of the issues, 10% of those are probably due to a handling issue in some sort of manner, whether they overheated and started incubating while they were in transit, or they froze in transit, or they were just shaken and their air sacs kind of got discombobulated or whatever. So again, you have to do a lot of research. I get maybe 3 to 4 people a month that text me and say, we had a poor hatch rate, and then 99% of them are completely okay with me asking questions to find out what happened. And it's usually due to finding something like that out.
So, yeah.
Are there certain grasses or plants that are good to have in a quail pen? Anything I should avoid? Nope. They're pretty easy. They'll go along with pretty much anything. Do you recommend a certain incubator for someone who is starting? I hear that the styrofoam little giant incubator are okay, but the smaller automatic ones are better. We've had these for a long time, but in the very beginning, Jenna had the styrofoam.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the first 3 months, she was extremely happy with hatching, and then it kept losing humidity, and then we had quilts on top, and we had blankets on the sides, and we kept trying to keep the heat in, and then Papa was like, you know what, I'm just gonna build it.
Yeah. So in the short term, it'll probably be fine for you.
But my recommendation would be to go to Facebook, go to a group on Facebook called Newbie Quail Lovers, ask the question on there, and you will have a ton of people that will help you out with their personal experience. As far as incubators go, as far as store-bought incubators go, that is one of the only questions no one here on the farm is very comfortable with talking about.
Yeah, we just don't have an experience. I took upon myself to build our incubator straight away. It's still in there. We use it now for non-quail eggs.
Like all the peacocks we got.
And what
Coming.
everything else that people bring us.
Right. What are the conveyor belts made of? We have to hit 10,000 subscribers before he will answer that question. So if you would like to know more about conveyors, please share our videos and get people to subscribe. And subscribe yourself.
He's cruel.
I know.
Cruel.
What if the chick is almost 2 weeks old?
What's what?
What if the chick is almost 2 weeks old?
What about if the chick's almost 2 weeks old?
I don't know. Sorry, you'll need to.
You'll need that.
I'll need more
Re-ask the
information.
question.
Thanks, Walt, Lars. Oh, never mind. 2 weeks old sprayed leg. Make a set of hobbles out of the. My experience is if they're sprayed leg after about 72 hours, they're going to be sprayed leg.
I don't know. You see a lot of people, putting toothpicks on them.
Yeah, I mean, there's some answers on here that you can read. We can't
do that.
Yeah, we don't deal with that. They keep talking about that. What is your goal on max birds you plan on having in the new barn?
Back to the legs. Once again, on the rare chance that it could be a genetic thing, we don't want them in our gene pool. So, and I don't know if that's a fair thing to say or not, but we don't want crooked necks in our gene pool. We don't want straight legs in our gene pool. There's a lot of things we just don't want, and I'll probably get some grief over that. But they're your quail. They're not our quail. They're your quail. You don't want it either.
Yeah, and there's some good answers on there as far as how to help you fix it. We just.
So what was how many we hope to have in here?
What is your goal on max birds you plan on having in the new barn?
Well, that would be a Zach question, but I'm surprised we got that many now.
I've been working on it pretty hard. We're still 2 weeks out on it. I would have to look at my notes. I can answer you for sure next week. I have it all written down, but I believe with the chicks and the brooders plus the layers plus, I think it came out to be like 5,900.
Probably around 6,000. Because we do hope to be selling 3 and 4 week old quail with this bigger facility. So we'll have 3 and 4 week quail always leaving and then always replacing and always going other places. So sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around 6,000. Oh, that's hi from Whidbey Island, WA. I thought Washington. I know that. Yeah. Is your wire stainless steel or just normal galvanized coated wire?
It is normal galvanized coated wire. It's expensive enough. I will mention this about that. We special ordered from Menards 30 rolls for the new cages, or maybe it was more than that, of half by half screen. And for some reason, it was almost half the price of what I could have bought it for at the store. So if you're buying a bunch of wire, and it wasn't just a fluke, because I thought any day they'd call and say, we made a mistake and we can't sell it to you for that. But you might want to look online, which is what we did, and see if it's the same price as what you buy it for in the store. Because for some reason, it was very reasonable, and we were grateful for that because we had a lot to buy.
Yeah, and it's always free delivery to the store.
Yeah, free delivery to the store. So it worked out, yikes, like about $1,000, yikes.
There is quite a bit of comments about the splayed leg thing. So just to be clear, there is a lot of good information you can read on these comments. A lot of people have answers that I would agree with. Long story short, splayed leg is an environment issue. It is a slippery surface, or it is too large of holes in here where they get stuck. So you want to check that out, and that's why it's very important to keep records. But it is fixable, and you can fix it then and going forward for future hatches. Any incubator can work. It depends on how much the operator wants to babysit the baiter.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you use to sterilize incubators after hatching chicks? Good question.
Jack, I'll answer it since the camera's on me, but we use a 50-50 Listerine is what we use.
Yes. And with the new lockdown, we're going to be pressure washing.
Yeah.
Because I love everything you can pressure wash.
Yeah, so this, if you watch the video, the whole reason for taking all the electronics out and everything out is so we can go. And we can't do that now because all electronics are hard into, into the box. So
Right.
everything's on a plug, unplug it, take it out, plug it back in. It takes 5 minutes to take it apart, another 5 minutes to put it back all together.
Yeah, and just 2 days ago, I took 11 of our brooders that fit 60 chicks each. I took them all outside and power washed all of them down, and it smells amazing in here. And
Yeah, it really smells good.
yeah, I mean, super easy to clean. We won egg auctions on BYC. You can do egg auctions? There are a lot on there that don't use Facebook, wink wink. Okay, I know I have, oh God, what is today? The 29th? Okay, I only have 2 days to get on BYC because that was my guarantee for October. So, Texas Kiki, if you want to text or call me tomorrow at 937-760-7282, maybe you can be my co-pilot on that and you can walk me through it because I am very computer illiterate, believe it or not. I watched the documentary of Myers Hatchery. The lady there said she started out in her garage with 3 small styrofoam incubators. So stick with it. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
we did the same thing.
we did the same thing. We started off with 50 quail from this not so good quail guy. And from that and then we tried finding jumbos everywhere we could find jumbos, and there's no such thing as a jumbo.
Even though it said there was a jumbo.
Yeah, it said there's a jumbo. We do have jumbos now, but we worked really hard at it several times
For a long time.
for a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that Papa agrees with this too, but whatever you do, you've got to do it on purpose. Whether it's the jumbos or whatever, like just get a plan and stick with it. And you might not have Papa there to build all this stuff, but if you got a plan, you can get where you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that what we're doing here is not for every operation. We just want to show you how we're doing it, that's all.
Yes, Zach, 2 days on count. All right, so Texas Kiki, you need to call or text me tomorrow and we will get this BYC worked out, and maybe I will do auctions on our Facebook page, Quail and Supply Auction Group, and on BYC at the same time so that everybody can enjoy it. And I would appreciate your help on that. How do you dispatch sick or injured quail, and how do you dispose of bodies or leftovers from butchering?
Well, we have some markets that want dead quail, whole dead quail.
Such as falconers,
Falconers,
reptiles.
and we freeze them. What I made was a guillotine sort of thing. It has two, and this would be one of your hard maple projects, if you'd like to use hard maple. It has two boards like this and one board that comes down. It's a foot pedal operation where you step on it, the guillotine comes down. That's how we dispatch, if you want to call it that, our quail that we intend to sell to that market. As far as how we get rid of our dead quail, this is an operational farm, and we have a lot of poop from a lot of different sources. And we have a very large, well, you know, large is a relative word. We have a pretty big compost pile that we've been working with for 6 years. Got it down to where we can know pretty much if we're screwing it up or not. And so we compost pig remains and chicken remains and cow remains and quail remains. We have our own butcher shop here on site, and most of the protein that we devour here, we process and create right here on the farm. So to answer that question, that's how we kill them. That's how we dispose of their bodies, and that's kosher deal. If you've got a good compost pile, that's fair game to compost.
Mike JV, you will be the last one entered into the drawing. I'll be picking that out in just a minute, and Papa will be announcing the winner. So while he's answering the last couple of questions, we'll be taking care of that. So there will be no more entries. Good. Really enjoyed the lockdown build video.
Thank you.
When will you have jumbo whites?
When will we have jumbo whites?
All right. So
We don't know.
We're gonna. Here's the deal. I will not be putting jumbo whites on the website or offering them on auctions until the beginning of the year.
As jumbo.
I won't be offering any. No whites of any sort. None. Until January 1st.
But we don't know if there'll be jumbo whites.
We do.
We do.
I'll have them by January 1st, no matter what.
Big dog.
I've already got it worked out.
Okay. But again,
But
we bought jumbo whites, but whether we get jumbo whites, we don't know.
well, long story short, it took us a year and a half to get the jumbo wilds where we want them. And I've been working on the jumbo whites for about 3 months. So they're not going to be as big as the jumbo wilds, but I will have something to offer by January. That is the goal. But the reason that I can't offer you anything right now is because I'm using everything I've got for us. So that next year we can be proud of our whites just as much as we're proud of our wilds.
Yeah, it's hard to, We want that gene pool as big as possible in the beginning. We start selling, you can't sell off your best, then you ain't got the best to breed. So, in the beginning, when you're trying to do the best, you gotta stay with it, and we talked about that last week, as to how do you do that? How do you bring up the size of your birds? And it's a challenge, and you have to be patient, and you see a lot of dollar signs not being made.
Yeah. But we also want to do what's right for you guys. And what's right for you guys is take our time to do it and do it right so that you guys can benefit from that in the future.
Yeah, you want us to have, there's no reason for you to not get jumbo whites if that's what you're buying.
Right. So,
Lose my voice.
there's a couple more questions, and then we will start finishing it up. Yeah, we're at about 49 minutes now. The guillotine for whole frozen birds, is that to hit the brain or snap the neck?
Snap the necks.
Last week I asked about putting apple cider vinegar in the water. I researched it some more and it has to do with changing the pH level of the water.
So do you recommend doing it, or you recommend not doing it if it changes the pH?
I did ask Jenna about this, and she said we've done it before, it was fine, but we have a new system, and so that's why we don't use it.
Yeah, and I don't even know, I can tell you this, the pH of the water is a really big deal on a lot of things. And it kind of surprises me we haven't paid more attention to that with our quill. But I have a Kangen water machine. It's a very expensive machine. It changes the pH of the water because I think it is important for us to be drinking the right pH water. If you're doing hydroponics, it's extremely important to have the right pH or your plants don't do right. And I think it's worth looking into if you can change the pH, if you need to change the pH. Again, everybody's water is a little different. And we're on a well, so we have, we're not introducing any chlorine or fluoride or whatever the heck else that city water might have in it with our quail. And we do have, everything that comes to the barn went through several filtration things as well. So yeah, water's a big deal at the farm. We don't have a lot of water to waste. That's why we're making a big old water reuse thing in the back.
We have a couple more questions. I do have a name for the winner of the cage that we will bring to you at the very end, so stay tuned. What is your Jumbo Wild's weight on average?
Zach can answer that.
Do you? Can you?
No. I can't.
Our average weight for the jumbo hens is 14 ounces. Our average weight for the jumbo males is about 12.7. It's either 12, it's between 12.6 and 12.8. I can't remember off the top of my head.
That would be 12.7.
I mean, it's written down exactly what it is, but I can't remember. So we're gonna say 12.7. You can also use copper pipe fittings to place in place of ACV.
Yep, good, sure.
Plain fresh water is better. Changing the pH prevents algae growth. I've been using an RO system for my hatchlings.
Reverse osmosis. I know a little bit about water, and I'll share this. Reverse osmosis takes all the bad things out of the water. It also takes all the good things out of the water. So what you have there is water with no minerals of any kind in it. So if you're not supplementing that water with something, you might be missing out on a lot of mineral type stuff for your birds. Now, whether or not your food, your feed, has all the minerals in it that they need, because they're sure not going to get it from your reverse osmosis water. So just be aware of that. And for people that are drinking it in their home too, it's the same problem. It takes all the bad stuff, but it takes all the good stuff. And there will be some camps there will say it's not good, it's a solvent, water is a solvent, that's why we use it to wash and yaka yaka yaka. Water with no minerals in your body, maybe taking minerals out of your body, because it's sure not adding anything.
There's a couple questions, but they responded to what you just said and said, that is true, I do add back electrolytes.
Outstanding.
So before I ask the last questions and he introduces the name of the winner, both of us have to get much better at this. I hate it because it kind of sounds like a sales thing, but I do notice that we get a lot of people that say really nice things about us, and they do watch our videos, and I get texts and emails and phone calls all the time saying that it's really beneficial, and that's great, and that's why we're doing it all, but we get very little likes. So if by chance you guys can start liking the videos that you watch for us, we would really appreciate it. How many different breeds of birds are in your mixed bag?
Zach will answer that, but I don't.
We have one breed.
We have one breed, and that's a Victorian quail.
Yep.
We have several colors, 22 colors. So when we do a mixed, if you're asking if you're buying a mixed bunch of birds, Zach, how many colors do they expect?
It really varies. I've got my own process. 9 times out of 10, and I mean 9 times out of 10, I'm the one that collects everything because I am very strategic on how I do it. So, you know, if you order a mixed count of 240 eggs, or I think they're on the website or eBay for 220, if you buy a 220 count mixed box, you're gonna get at least 1 to 2 rows of every single thing I've got. If you order a 30 count of mixed, you're probably gonna get 6 to 8 colors, 3 or 4 eggs each. You know, it just depends on how many you order and what I'm backed up on. I usually do not put jumbos in the mixed bag. It's usually colors only. Hopefully that helps. We do custom orders. You know, we do custom hatches, we do custom pickups. We also do custom deliveries. So like if you wanted to order, you know, 220 eggs, but you wanted 60 of 4 different colors, all you have to do is contact me and we help you out with
Try to
that.
accommodate whatever.
Right.
And that's why Zach doesn't have any eggs.
Because I'm sold out.
Because he's sold out.
And I've been sold out since I quit work.
Yeah, but what we don't do, and what we try not to do, and we never do, is take your money and 6 months later you still don't have it. So, what's our worst case scenario? A week, 2 weeks?
We take if there's eggs on the website that say out of stock, it is because we're on a 2-week wait. Once we hit a 2-week wait list, I take them off.
So there you go. So we try to get everything out within 2 weeks.
And
Most everything goes out the same week.
yeah, I would say other than maybe 2 colors randomly, everything goes out within 3 to 5 business days. Jumbo wilds are almost always on a week delay, but I would say at least once a month we got on a 2-week wait, and I have to take them off.
Yeah.
But once we're in this barn,
We hope to do better than that. But
and I can tell you, I tick more people off by not taking their order, but I am just not comfortable taking your money and not knowing when I can ship you. You know, I don't want to say, well, it might be 3 weeks, might be 4, you're too far out for me to tell, or I don't want you to order on the website, and then for 4 weeks you're going, when are my eggs coming?
Right.
When are my eggs coming?
right, no,
It's just not worth it to us.
and it just becomes a liability on our part. We got your money, and now we have to ship you the eggs that we don't know. No. If we don't know we got them, we ain't gonna sell it.
Right. And we look at it as we're in this as a partnership together, you know. Us and you are working together for you to get a good hatch rate. You're going to tell more people about it. You're going to buy from us again. We're going to have a good reputation, and we're supplying you with what you want. So it's a full circle thing. Cleaning your waters and giving fresh water daily prevents algae. I just watched a 30 count assortment. I got 10 different colors. Cool. Well,
From us?
yeah. Well, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my backyard chicken
Okay.
help, so.
Great.
Well, she didn't actually say it was from us. We're going to assume it was from us. But I do try my very best to give you as many colors as possible. Typically, the fun colors, I put a couple extra in there. So, you know, not a generic color. a normal color, like Italian is kind of a normal color, I might put in extra tuxedos and put in less Italians because you'll be more excited about it. Yes, from us, she responded.
Great.
All right, so actually more than 10 colors. Hit that like button. Yes, I would really appreciate it. Wow, that jumped up dramatically. Thank you, everybody. So we will start asking people to like and subscribe at the beginning of every video, in the middle, and at the end, because that's what all the YouTube people tell me I have to do. I just kind of feel like it's hard for me to do, but we got to get used to it.
I've never liked a video in my life, so.
Yeah, I don't. I watch it and then I go to the next one. I just never pay attention. So we're gonna just try to give you attention. Thanks, we got more. Awesome. I use oxine in my waters. Oxine, O-X-I-N-E.
Maybe you could elaborate on
Oxine,
that.
oxine. Don't know.
Oxine, what it is.
We do not know what that is. So if you want to give us that info, we'll look into it.
We'll share it.
Good ethics go a long way to being successful. We agree. Thanks for being an honest business.
My motto at my old business was, they'd always say, what are we going to do? I say, you always do the right thing. Just don't ask me that question again. If you don't, if it's the right thing or wrong, you just do the right thing.
I don't think you've ever told me that.
It's always the right thing.
I know, but I don't think you've ever.
Maybe I've never had to.
Well, I'm proud of that. I mean, I'm sitting back, patting myself on the back, going, he's never had to say that to me. Thanks for being an honest business. Yes, from you. I only order eggs from you. I appreciate that. What else is Jumbo's besides the wilds and the white? That is a long question, and I have mono, and my throat is killing me, and Papa's been working since 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. If you tune in next week, that will be the first question I answer, because we are doing a genetics part 2.
Yay.
I got my eggs on the 2-week wait. It was torture. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're that last person that just makes me take them off, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hit the like button also. Awesome, thank you. Wow, we really got to start doing that, because it jumped from like 3 to 29 like that.
Okay.
It's a great product, look it up. Will do. Oxine. O-X-I-N-E.
What do you use it for?
He uses it in his waters. Waterers.
To clean the waters.
I use oxine
To clean the waters or in the water?
Well, it says I use oxine my waters. I don't. I'll look it up. We'll look it up.
I think he's cleaning.
I would assume.
I bought some stuff that was to clean people that make beer, clean their beer stuff. I don't know that we've tried it yet, but it was pretty expensive. But man, they hyped it so good, I had to push the button on Amazon.
It's disinfectant expensive.
Disinfectant expensive. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we'll look into it. That is it.
All right, great, because I am really tired. So, did you have a name?
Oh, I do have a name. Oh my gosh.
There it is. Alicia?
Yep.
Alicia Rose.
Alicia Rose.
And I never can remember. What's the name of the place?
It is Wynola Ranch.
Wynola Ranch.
She will be receiving a 1-tier quail breeder cage for free with free shipping. And I will get with you, or you can get with me tomorrow. As soon as I get done with this video, I will be watching my Dallas Cowboys play. And then I'll get with you tomorrow and get you the coupon code to go to their website. Please check them out. If you're in need of quail supplies such as waters or leg bands or cages, they do a great job. We will be doing
Ranch?
at WynolaRanch.com. It's with an L, winola.ranch.com.
Yeah,
And
they're
then
super great. I mean, they reach out to us 3 or 4 times a year and say, hey, you know, we'd like for you to give away a cage. We've been watching your videos, like your customer base, and we say, okay, we'll give away a cage.
Right.
So that's how complicated that is. I think we're on their website and they're on our website as a supplier.
Correct.
And that's about the extent of our relationship, but they've been, you know, people win a cage, they get them, so we're thrilled to pass it along.
Yep. And then I am working with them. It will not be next week. What we're going to be doing together is still in the works, so it'll be a couple weeks out. But I am working with them to do something really fun and exciting. We will be doing a video tomorrow. If you're watching this, the video is going to be about what our topic will be for next Sunday, which will be me talking about genetics ×2. However, we will be doing not a giveaway, but a game. And whoever gets chosen with the best answer, we are going to actually ship you free eggs.
Oh.
So I thought it was our time to put money where our mouth was. So, so yeah, but the game's gonna be really cool. It'll be a week long, and I am not gonna tell you now, so I'm gonna shut my mouth on what it's gonna be. You'll have to watch the video tomorrow.
All right. Well, I want to thank you everybody for stopping by tonight. Crazy that you guys do it. We sure appreciate it though. And hope we've answered some questions. And hopefully next week we'll be able to give you another tour of the facility and say we got a little something done. And this is Zach and Papa from Myshire Farm signing off. Good night.
See you guys. Thanks.